Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a first look at the new McGrath Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction palette. I'm going to show you the palette, the shadows, show you some swatches, a tutorial of this look right here. And then I'm going to come back and let you know my thoughts about it after using it for the first time today. So if you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing because I do them along with makeup reviews, hauls, swatches here on my channel every Saturday. This is the Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction palette. Oh, the artwork on this is so gorgeous. And like all her other palettes, it has the name of the palette here on the front and this beautiful, gorgeous, divine artwork. And then inside of the box is the palette along with an insert that tells you the names of all of the eyeshadows. And then the palette itself is this beautiful, luxurious, heavy, black lacquered plastic box. And inside, oh, let me show you the back because the back is just as gorgeous as the front. Look at that gold reflective back. And then inside you have this heavy, big beveled mirror. And then here are the eyeshadows. And her eyeshadows, you get a mix of matte and metallic shimmer shades. And then the 4 shades on the far right are usually these very glittery, like pressed glitter shadows. Now that red eyeshadow, the Blitz Flame, that feels more like a metallic shimmer shade than it does the special, which is what I call them, the special glittery glitter shades, which would be these 3 right here. This one feels more like a regular metallic shimmer shade. And of all the palettes, of all 5 of the palettes, I have 4 of them. This one to me is the most beautiful and the most comprehensive in terms of color story. It's a warm palette. This palette and the other, she's got another one, the Bronze Temptation palette, this one right here, which is the companion to the larger Sublime palette. And this is what these eyeshadows look like. These 2 palettes have really reminded me of just how much I love warm eyeshadows. Brands have been releasing warm eyeshadow color stories so often that I think it was kind of like, again, another warm palette. But these palettes here, this one in particular, just reminded me just how much I love a warm eyeshadow. They're gorgeous. The shades are beautiful. They're typical Pat McGrath. The mattes are soft and smooth. The metallics are va-va-voom. Soft and smooth as well. And then you've got those glittery shades that are like, they're like light, flaky, pressed glitter. Really, really beautiful. Those shades are unlike anything, those shadows are unlike anything else that I have in my collection. And she's expensive, $125, but I think the quality of these eyeshadows live up to the price. I was gonna say they're worth it, but I mean, is any eyeshadow palette worth $125? But if you're going to pay that amount of money for an eyeshadow palette, it better be of exceptional quality, and these eyeshadows are. And then the packaging, I mean, it's not cheap, it is luxurious. So this is definitely luxury makeup. Now, let's see some swatches. These are the 4 shades on the right side of the palette. This one swatches and feels more like a regular metallic shadow. And these 3 here are those special glittery glitter shades. And unlike the other 3 Mothership palettes, there are 5 altogether, but the Decadence palette is the only one with all metallic shimmer shades. Of the other 3, This is the only one that doesn't have the black. She included a deep aubergine matte color instead of a black, which I really appreciate because as someone that has two of the other palettes that have the black in them, I really didn't want another repeat black. And I think the aubergine just ties in better with the whole color scheme of this palette. If you would like to see these shadows in action, see how they performed, and you'd like to see how I created this look today using my Pat McGrath Mothership Bronze Seduction palette, then keep on watching. Today I'm starting off with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, the anti-aging one. And I usually use a concealer and I set it with an eyeshadow. But I decided to go in with the regular eyeshadow primer today. And the first eyeshadow I'm using is Entrapment, and this is a nice brown to warm up that crease. And that eyeshadow primer really grabbed onto this eyeshadow. I was really surprised. So it took me a few more minutes to blend this out, especially right there near the inner corner. Now I'm taking Disobedient, which is this really deep, dark, rich chocolate brown shade, and I'm going to put that in the crease as well and bring it around to the outer V area and then blend it part ways onto the first third, the outer third of my lid. I've been enjoying using this eye primer. You saw it in a recent haul video, and I'll be using eyeshadow primer now more in the future going forward. I'm going back in with that original brush that I used at Entrapment, and I'm just going to make sure that these two shades are blended seamlessly together. And now I'm going back into the palette. I'm taking Xtreme Aubergine, and I'm going to first tap it into that outer V area using my Real Techniques shader brush, and then I'm going to bring it a little bit into the crease, maybe halfway, but I'm really not going far up into the crease with this shade. I'm trying to keep it really low in the crease. And then I'm just taking that same brush I used for Disobedient to blend out that dark shade. Now I'm taking the NYX Glitter Primer, and I'm using my Sephora silicone applicator to apply that primer. And I'm going to use Bronze Blaze on the outer third of the lid, and that is a Makeup Geek foiled flat shader brush I'm using to apply it. And the glitter primer is going to help with the fallout of these really glittery shades. This is Skinshow Divine Glow, and I'm just using a small Delium Tools brush to place that on the first half of the lid. It's going to serve as a base for the next shadow that I'm going to place on top of it. And as you can see, this is a beautiful metallic champagne shade. It kind of seems like it's got like a little yellow in it. Very pretty. And I'm just going back in with that Bronze Blaze to make sure that I blend those two shades together onto the lid. And then I'm going back in with that glitter primer because I'm going to go back in the palette and use VR Fire Opal on top of the shade that we just put down. And this is one of the special glittery shades, and it is so beautiful. It's like got this green flecks of glitter in it. So pretty. I thought that red shade was going to be my favorite, but I don't know. This one is awfully beautiful, and it looks really, I thought the base, that shadow I used underneath, really helped this to pop. Now I'm just going back in with Disobedient and just gonna make sure that this is blended out. And it gets a little tricky when you start blending around those glittery shades, because then that glitter starts to travel, as you will see, is gonna go up into my crease and in all other areas. And now this is my NYX Blame It On Midnight, and I'm just using that as my matte underbrow highlight. And now I'm going to take a piece of tape here and try to get some of this glitter off. I even go up into the crease and under my brow to try to get some of it off so I don't look too cray-cray. And now I'm going in with my Milk Makeup Long Wear Gel Eyeliner. This was also a new acquisition. And this is in the color CEO, and it's just a really dark brown. And I'm putting that in my waterline and a little bit under the waterline onto the lower lash line. And I'm blending that out with Xtreme Aubergine on the Makeup Geek pencil brush. And just try to smoke this out a little bit. I went a little lower beneath my lower lash line with this shade than I normally do. And then that is VR Fire Opal again, and this time I wet my brush and I'm using it as my inner corner highlight. And this is the completed look. I used that Milk Makeup Gel Eyeliner to tight line. I used the Clinique High Impact Mascara on my natural lashes. And then I applied the Kiss Faux Mink lashes in the style Pitch, which I think has become my new favorite style of lash. Loving it! And I finished off today's look with my MAC Chestnut lip liner and my little Pat McGrath Matte Trance mini lipstick in the shade Flesh 3. Now, what do I think about this palette? It'll be no surprise to you. If you've been here before, you know that I love all of the Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes that I own. I picked up the 3 from the Opulence mini palette collection for holiday. Love, love, love those. I have tutorials with all of 3 of those. So if you missed it, I will link them down below. I have a playlist of all the tutorials that I've done with my Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes linked down below in the description box. And this palette is no different. I mean, her eyeshadow formula, her eyeshadows are consistent across all of her palettes, mini or large. They are beautiful. I have yet to own a palette of hers that has one eyeshadow that's a dud. Not one. They all perform beautifully. The mattes blend out beautifully. They're pigmented. The special shades are so unique, and the metallic shimmer shades are gorgeous. I mean, you really can't go wrong. So of course I love this palette. I knew that I would, and I can't wait to do some more looks with it. So I hope you found this video helpful today. If you liked it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, because I do first impressions and first looks, swatches, makeup reviews, and hauls here on my channel every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.